Hello and welcome to Nina's Kitchen. So today we're making shrimp from La Michoacan, and Manuel's going to show us how to prepare the dish today. And how do you say it in Spanish, the dish you're making today?
Camarones estilo Michoacan.
So as you see, he's cutting up a white, about a large white onion. And you take notice of how he's slicing it. Now notice he doesn't chop it into pieces, he leaves it in strips. Next, he's going to be cutting up 3.5 Roma tomatoes. Now the Roma tomatoes are sweeter than the bigger tomatoes, and it's full of flavor. And once again, notice how he's cutting them. He's not chopping them up. And he's going to continue to do that for the next, I would say, about one bunch. And he has picked them off of the stem. And now he's chopping it up.
Little bit.
Just a little bit. Not too fine and not too thick. Just kind of medium. And then we have 3 pieces of garlic. And notice he's not finely mincing those or anything, he's just slicing them.
Spread a little bit. Then we got 1 jalapeño.
And these are kind of the big jalapenos. The bigger jalapenos, and when you take the seeds out, aren't as spicy. And now this is more like a serrano pepper, right?
Yeah, a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Make the little bit of spice.
Yes, so the serrano peppers are a little more spicy. So if you like spicy food, you could add a little more serrano if you wanted to. If you don't like as much spicy, then you would just add, it's got about 4 or 5 slices of the serrano.
Okay, ready?
So we've got 1 stick of butter putting into a medium pan. And the temperature on the stove is about medium. So if you have numbers on there, it would be in between 4 and 5. And you see we just kind of want to coat the bottom really good with that nice. And this butter here is just regular margarine. It has salt. And just keep moving the butter around till it gets nice and melted. Okay, so now the butter's ready. You can see it kind of boiling up. And he's adding the garlic and the jalapeno and the serrano pepper. And he's just kind of letting that soak up some of the butter there for a minute.
Then onion.
So the onions have cooked down like you would saute onions, where they're almost translucent. It takes about 5 to 7 minutes. And you see how like it's almost becoming like see-through. And then now you're going to add the cilantro. Now, if you're not a fan of cilantro, you can always, of course, leave this out. And if you can put as much or as little as you want. But it does really give it a nice flavor to it.
The cilantro just got the leaves.
Right, so you don't use the stems and all that. So you're just going to pick off the leaves. I know it's kind of tedious, but if you get a bunch that has like big leaves on it, it's a little bit easier. So just keep stirring that around, and it's still on medium heat.
Then
and let the cilantro kind of marinate in the butter, and you know, all the flavors just kind of coming together.
okay. Tomatoes.
So now we're going to add the tomatoes. Now the tomatoes we didn't chop, and these are Roman tomatoes. And we used about 3.5.
And now the shrimp.
And so now you're going to pour in the shrimp. The shrimp is raw. And as you can see, it's been deveined and the tails have been taken off. And these are the small raw shrimp. And this is about 60-80 for the count. Now you can use whatever shrimp you like. You could use large ones. You could leave the tail on if you like eating the tails, or medium. It really depends on how much shrimp you want and how big you like them. And so now we're just mixing it all together. And you're going to know when the shrimp are done because they turn kind of a pinkish color. And you also don't want to overcook the shrimp because the shrimp becomes kind of tough. And so that's going to cook.
A little bit salt.
And that's going to cook for probably about, I'd say about 5 to 7 minutes. And you're probably going to add like maybe 1 to 2 teaspoons of salt, maybe 3 depending on how salty you like it. He likes it kind of salty. And notice how he just doesn't leave it sitting there. He just keeps turning it because he doesn't want it sticking to the pan. Now, if you have the temperature up too high, the vegetables and the onions and everything will start sticking. So that's why we want it at a medium heat. That looks so good. And so now he's getting ready to put a lid on top. And that also helps with the cooking. It makes the shrimp start steaming. And all your vegetables kind of steam up. And we're going to let that cook there for about 5 to 7 minutes. And we'll be right back. Okay, so our shrimp made Michoacan style is done. And as you can see, it's got a nice pink flavor to it. Now you want to, if you're gonna take a little bit before you eat it, it's okay to let it saute in that sauce for a little while. Just don't put the lid back on because it will continue to cook if the lid is on. Now you can put this over some rice. And as you see here, I have some rice that's kind of boiling and getting ready, and that's just white rice. And you could use any type of rice that you would like. Or you could even mix it with some pasta, spaghetti, fettuccine, angel hair, or elbow, any kind of pasta you would like, that would be great also. Alright guys, well here's the finished product. We got our camarones a la Michoacan, and that is shrimp made like from Michoacan. And we have our white rice, and then we have some avocado and limes. And I thank you for joining us, and I hope you hit the like button and subscribe button if you would like to see more recipes. See you later.